Finish what you started. Okay? I know it's getting tough. You're tired. It feels impossible. It's getting harder. But finish what you started. Don't forget why you even started in the first place. But you must finish what you started. Everybody said you wouldn't finish. Everybody counted you out. Don't you dare prove them right. Here, finish what you started. Don't give up on yourself. You can do it. Okay? All right. Very good. Finish what you started.
Good morning. Welcome back to my channel, Life of Teeny. I'm Miss Teeny. I am currently sitting at the park. I wanted to come and open up today's vlog. I've already finished up my morning workout, and I'm back in the car. I had to sit here for a minute and catch my breath and whatnot. But hey to everybody, I hope everybody's doing well. Our weather is looking up. It's not as cold as it was last week, so I'm making it my mission to get out of the house and hit the park instead of just working out at home. I waited a little while so the temp could go up, and it climbed very fast. This morning when we got up, it was like 29 degrees, so it is now about 54 degrees outside. So I came on out here and got me a workout in. I'm still kind of a little jittery and my legs is feeling like rubber, but I'm out here. I got it done. I didn't take my camera out the car because the cleaning people are out cleaning up the parks and whatnot, and I'm by myself, and I just, I don't want them kind of problems. And I know, my husband always tells me that, be aware of your surroundings. So I left my camera in the car, but I did get out and I did walk. I took my jacket off and it's sitting over here on the other side because it's still, it's not as cold, but it's still a little nippy outside. I am probably finna go pick up my son, and either that or I'm finna head back to the house. Either way, one of those things are getting ready to happen. I just wanted to come and open up today's vlog. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to go do while I'm out before I do head home. I don't know, but that's for me to figure out. I just wanted to say hey to everybody. Thank you all for your prayers and well wishes. And I will see you guys whenever I figure out what it is that I'm about to do. So I'll see you guys in a minute.
You got some cayenne pepper?
Huh?
Cayenne pepper?
Yeah.
You got some?
Yeah. What you need that for?
Cook with it.
Alright.
Alright. It's gonna shoot me like that. Yeah.
know you're recording, right?
Yep.
Because you just want to spot.
I want you to see all the snacks. Here.
Hey YouTube fam, it's your girl Miss Teeny. I'm back. It's a little later in the day. I'm back at home. I went and walked. Went to the dollar store. My son went with me. We went to the Dollar Tree actually. I showed you guys just a little bit of that. And now I'm getting ready to start prepping for dinner. To get that done. I'm making baked chicken. Oh, did he get my cabbage? I can't remember if he got my cabbage or not, but I may be making some baked chicken and cabbage. That's all I can really think of right now to make for dinner. If I have cabbage in the refrigerator, I can't remember. Yeah, so basically I'm just planning out my dinner for today and what we are going to eat. What else was I going to say? Oh, the series that's going on TikTok with Risa Tisa. I think that's her name. Child, that... I don't even know what to say. I just think that's just like really crazy. Yeah, learn your red flags. Learn your red flags. That whole little series. You can find it on YouTube. I see people posting it like in more of a movie mode than the little snippets that was being put on TikTok, where she was doing like 10-minute videos of that her little whole ordeal. My heart goes out to her because that's just horrible. That really is just horrible. And even the guy, I guess another TikToker found the guy, so he even said something back to her or whatever. I put like in a little snippet, and then I'll come right back. So just watch this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm about to show you. If you have a TikTok account or even Instagram, if you're following nosy bystanders, and I'll put her name across the screen too, for as far as Instagram, and the lady's name that this all pertains to. There is a series on TikTok. Let me just clue you in. It is a 50-part series with 10-minute video of a lady that goes by the name of Risa Tisa, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. But she got in a relationship with a man, and she is referring to him as Legion. But you know, the internet is quicker than that. They have discovered him and put his name out there, so people are on Facebook, and I'm assuming that's where they went and found him at. I've only watched the one video of him speaking, but baby girl that made 50 10-minute videos talking about this relationship, and I just feel like it's getting so much traction that I have no choice but to come on and talk about it. Okay, so I did all my workout stuff. That was previously in this vlog. If you have stuck around this long, then this is what I'm finna talk about now. Just to shift gears. But it is a whole debacle. It is a whole mess, and it just really makes you want to... I don't even know if you can vet men or if men can vet women, like to find out what you're getting before you get it. And it just, to me, she got a whole lot that she was not looking for. And this man pretended to be a lot of things. And allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, because that's her side of the story. Just like any person, or any regular person, there's always three sides to a story. There's her side, his side, then there's the truth. So I'm sure that man is going to clap back with a lot of his own information. But in this instance, she has spoken with family members, and they have all confirmed her story, even the ex-wife. The ex-girlfriend has yet to come to the forefront. So I will be watching to see if that happens as well. But in the meantime, in between time, if you don't know what I'm talking about, as far as this TikTok series, it's entitled Who TF Did I Marry? There are now several uploads on YouTube, so you can watch parts of it. But the parts that I want to go over today is because I finished it, is 39 and 40. And I'm gonna let you guys watch it, and then I'll come back with my commentary. See you in a minute. Part 39, Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Everything you're going to hear, probably in this part and the next part, all of this happens in the month of July 2021. Divorce has been filed. It was filed the end of June. I got his signature on the divorce settlement agreement. I thought that I had to wait 30 days before I could actually file that with the court. And so this is kind of in the limbo period, because I'm still within those 30 days. So he left a book bag at the house, book bag that had all kind of paperwork in there. Inside the book bag, this is the paperwork that I found. Number one, I found a packet from the condiment company where it showed his 401k contributions. It also stated in there that he had been terminated. So he was terminated from the condiment company, according to the paperwork in the packet that I saw in the book bag that he left at my house. Also in the book bag were paycheck stubs from a previous job where he worked at a cemetery. The same cemetery that he took me to show me where his grandmother and grandfather were buried. So let's go ahead. I'll do this video and say this is what he told me. This is what I confirmed. He told me his grandmother and grandfather were buried there. He showed me a headstone with a family name on it. If you go back in previous parts, I talk about it. The truth is they are not buried there. He is of no relation to the people who are buried at that particular gravesite. Only reason why he knew about it is because he had worked there. Also in the book bag, it was a copy of a driver's license that he had. The address on the driver's license, now this I still don't have an answer to, but the address on the driver's license was the same address as the cemetery, because I looked it up on Google. Also in the book bag was paperwork from another construction company job, meaning it was paycheck stubs from another construction company here in Atlanta that he had worked for. It did not have dates on it, so I don't know when he worked for the construction company. Also in the book bag paperwork was unemployment paperwork. So it looked like he had been receiving unemployment just before I met him. I met him in March. It looked like he had been receiving unemployment January and February. So once again, let's confirm. He did not work for the condiment company for 6 to 7 years. Also in there were scraps of paper from a temp agency where it was information on the job that he had been placed at. Where was that job? The condiment company. He would be a forklift / loader is what it said. So I interpret that to mean he can drive a forklift, but he would have been loading up the 18-wheelers for them to go out to their deliveries. Also in this book bag was paperwork from Clayton County courts, I believe, for a weekend, what is it called? A weekender jail. It was like a weekender jail receipt. So I had to do some research. So apparently what that means is that there is an option where if you have a job, let's say you were sentenced to 60 days in jail, but you have a full-time job. Apparently, the court can say, okay, you'll go to jail on the weekends. So in other words, you have to report to the jail on Friday at 5 o'clock, and you'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You will get out Sunday at 6 o'clock. Apparently, that's actually a real thing. So what was in the book bag were multiple yellow receipts for different weekends that he had to report and get out of jail. Last but not least, there were some additional pictures, and then there were some, and when I say pictures, I'm talking about family photos. And then there was another additional copy of his driver's license with the Douglasville address. I looked up that address. The name associated with that address was the same name as the ex-girlfriend that he had in between the ex-wife and me. If you go back to the video where I talk about the conversation I had with the ex-wife, she tells me that the address was going to come back to the ex-girlfriend. I'm simply saying that is correct. So what she told me is true. So because of everything that I found, I decided to go down a new rabbit hole. Again, just recapping what I said in previous videos. Ex-husband was always a stickler about law enforcement. His dad was a retired police officer. I'm just telling y'all the story. His dad was a retired police officer. Mom was a retired teacher. After his dad retired, they moved to Augusta, started a church. He took me to that church in Augusta. The same day that he took me to meet his aunt who lived in Augusta. So these are now things that he actually took me to, just like he took me to the cemetery. So that's what I found in the book bag. The weekender jail receipts. I went ahead and went online to find out exactly why did he have to go to jail for the weekend. And I'm going to end this part here. The next part has to do with his criminal history. Part 40, who the fuck did I marry? So we're now at the point of July 2021. We're at the point where I've spoken to the female cousin, and she gave me the phone number for the older brother. For the purposes of this video, we're going to call him Chris. Chris was very nice. I called him. He was gracious. He was willing to answer whatever questions I had. And what he said to me was, he said, my brother has always been a liar. He's always been a liar. He said, but ask me what questions you have, and I'll confirm what's real and what's not. First question I had was, when was the last time you spoke to him? Without missing a beat, Chris says, 2015, just after our mother's funeral. I explained to him about the phone calls, the fact that Legion would be on the phone for 35 minutes, laughing, talking to Chris, relaying messages from Chris to me, and relaying messages from me to Chris. Without missing a beat, Chris says he was never talking to me. And he said, now I am going to say this. Maybe he was on the phone, but he was not on the phone with me. He said, because he knows that if I ever see him, I'm going to whoop his ass.
And I'm laughing because obviously Legion loves to say I'm gonna whoop somebody's ass. So for the people who are confused, like, wait, what does this mean about the phone calls? What this means is every single time that my ex-husband was on the phone, holding his phone like this, talking, laughing, cracking jokes. Hey, my wife said that, we can go later on this evening and all this other stuff. Every time they were doing things like that, every time he was having a phone call or conversation that he claims to be with Chris, no one is on the phone. No one's on the phone. That is what that means. So I'm on the phone with Chris. My mind is spinning. It is blowing up like a volcano. I mean, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy because what this means is that for the past 4 or 5 months, every morning that he is having a phone call with his brother Chris, I am now understanding in real time that phone call was completely fake. So Chris tells me maybe he was talking to somebody else, but it wasn't me. He said the only family member that Legion actually talks to is the twin. And that's only because for some reason, I guess it's their twins, he helps him out when he needs it. Legion only calls the twin when he needs money. And the twin, according to Chris, now this is the part that might blow some minds. The twin brother, the one that is older by 20 minutes, is VP of his company, is married, drives a luxury car, and lives in like a 4 or 5 bedroom house in Nashville. So Chris is saying to me, he was like, it sounds like he took the identity of the twin and was trying to act like that's his life. And it's not. He was like, that nigga ain't never had no money, ain't never kept a job a long period of time. And he was like, and you're telling me that he claims he was VP of a company? And so he was like, did you ever see anything? Did you ever meet people like Chris? I respect the fact that he was asking me the same questions y'all are asking me. Did you ever meet any family members? And I told him, I said, I met your aunt. Well, what aunt is that? I told him her name. He said, that ain't our damn aunt. I don't know if y'all have ever dealt with people from Philly. So he was just loud. He was like, that ain't our aunt. He said, that is our mother's best friend. And I don't trust that hoe. I'm sorry. It's the way he said it that it makes me laugh. Anyway, he's like, I don't trust her. I don't trust her at all. She is not our aunt. She was our mother's best friend when our mother was living in Augusta. She's not our aunt. So then I explained to him about the other brothers. The brothers, remember, there were 2 half brothers from his dad. One lived in Baltimore, one lived in Augusta. Chris is on the phone saying, I don't know who them niggas are. They ain't related to us. He said, our dad never had other kids. He was like, so you mean to tell me this nigga going around telling people that our dad had kids on our mom? And I said to him, well, the way he actually put it is that the 2 brothers came before y'all. He was like, hell no. No. So then I explained to him about the sisters. He was like, who the hell is Shantae? And I was like, Shantae, again, I'm just telling you what I was told. Shantae is a sister that lives in Douglasville, married with 2 kids. He was like, no, we don't have a sister. Told him about Kim. He was like, Kim's not our sister. She's a cousin. And he said to me, and I know she ain't talked to him in forever in 2 days. He said, so everyone, the only people who are his family members is Chris and the twin. He's like, we got some cousins up here. I told him about Junebug. I told him about the uncle. I told him about the grandmother. And he's just sitting back like, oh my God. He said, he was like, I realized that every relationship my brother gets in, he gets worse. And it sounds like he is actually worse than what he was in the last relationship. And I thought he was talking about the ex-wife that I had spoken to. No, he had no idea there was another wife. Because again, he hasn't spoken to him since 2015. So he was like, the best thing I can say to you is this. He said, thank God you ain't have kids with him. He said, get your divorce and forget you ever met this man. And he was like, and I know how that sounds because he's my brother. He said, but if I didn't have to claim him, I wouldn't. And I said to him something that I should have probably said in this whole TikTok series. This is not someone that you forget. This is not a situation that, man, I don't even remember him. No. What I don't remember is the version of myself before I met him, because nothing so far has turned out to be true. The only thing that Chris was able to tell me is true is that, number one, yes, there is a brother in Philly, him. Yes, there is a brother in Nashville, the twin. Yes, both parents are deceased. That is what I was told from the beginning. Those pieces of information are true. The grandmother did die in 2008. He was like, no, she didn't. She definitely didn't die in 2020. I told him how I found the obituary. And so he was like, and the uncle, he said, which uncle is he talking about? Because if you guys remember, back in one of the parts, I talk about where he said his uncle was giving him advice on why he should not open up his savings account to let me see it. He would not let me see it. And so I'm telling Chris about the uncle, and he was like, that uncle been dead for years. I told him about Junebug. He said, Junebug been dead for years. And I said, Chris, he was having conversations with Junebug on the phone in front of me. He was like, it wasn't Junebug. He said, it sounds like my brother was making up the conversations. He said he definitely was making up the conversations with me. He said, hell no, I ain't going to be on the phone at no 6 o'clock in the morning. So the conversation with Chris solidified that this is the actual family tree. And no, there were never any conversations with his brother every morning when I was getting ready to go to work. They had never talked.
Okay, honey. If you listened to all of that, my heart goes out to that young lady. That's a whole lot to endure, and that is just like scratching some of the surface of what she's been through with dealing with this man. As a married woman myself, I don't think I would have stuck around. I probably would have done the same thing that she's doing and became investigator teeny and try to figure some things out. But speaking for my husband, he didn't show no kind of signs like that, and I didn't show him any kind of signs like that. We are wonderful. We are 7 years strong, so this doesn't apply to us. It's just interesting to me because of past relationships, and I found my forever person, and I'm grateful that I found my forever person. I thank God that I have my forever person, and I don't have to deal with stuff like this. But it does bring up quotes and questions when it comes to my daughters, because I have two girls, and I try to bring them to the light too when a person is showing you who they are. And I've always been told that when a person is showing you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't keep giving them chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. You believe them the first time and move accordingly. And if they showing you that they ain't, then you need to go on about your business. But anywho, let's get to the book bag. in episode 39, she mentions that she had put him, well, she had already put him out. She had filed for divorce. That's probably in 35 or 34, somewhere in there. But she did file for divorce. She confirmed that. The divorce was to be finalized. She thought she had to wait 30 days to file, but she went on and filed. In the book bag, she found several items, and one being that he was going to jail on the weekends. And if you from any hood, you know like what the weekend jail thing is. I can't even, it's a word for it as well. If I can remember it, I'll insert it somewhere. As far as the weekend jail, because they call it something, and I'm just drawing a blank right now because this is a lot of information to try and retain and put out. Again, this was a 50-part series, so I seen one person mention, like, and I have my notes because I did take notes so I can come and talk about it. So that's what you hear me crunching up. But I did hear somebody mention that this was almost as long as an episode of The Lord of the Rings. So Tyler Perry, where you at? Because homegirl definitely needs to check. This needs to be a series, a movie, or something. But she's giving us the raw. He was going to jail on the weekends. His ID she found still in that book bag with the Douglasville ID, which the ex-wife confirmed is the ex-girlfriend's address. Now, the ex-girlfriend in this, to me, is like the winner in all of this, because the first wife, he did the same thing to her. Then the ex-wife, the ex-girlfriend comes into play. I'm sorry about that. My camera died in what I was, the point I was trying to make. She hasn't came to the forefront. I'm sure the internet is going to find her somewhere down the line, because like I said before, I feel like she's the only one that's winning in this situation, because she didn't take herself, down the rabbit hole like Risa Tisa did. And I really feel bad for her. Like, I really feel bad for her that she had to even endure any of that or go through any of that. And I also thank her for putting her story out there, because it's there for other young ladies, middle-aged ladies. It's there for the ladies. And telling people how to move within themselves as far as dating somebody. You know, I mean, if that makes any sense. It's just horrible. That's just horrible. Because, and I don't say that just for the ladies, but I say that for the men as well, because a woman can be just as conniving and deceitful as a man, and even more so, because women, I feel like we tend to hide things just a little bit better than a man does. So we move different, but our trash still stinks, just like a man's does. Especially if you're not moving with good intentions. And I'm just going to keep it a buck. And if you are out there and you looking for love, and you come across a person and they giving you all of this and throwing stuff out there that is making you think like, then maybe you shouldn't be with that person. Maybe you shouldn't be with that person. not saying that she didn't need to be with him, but she don't need to be with him. I don't even know, honey. This one is a wig scratcher. Under the wig, braid scratcher. Because there's just no way. There's just no way. There's just no way. I don't know. I'm like taken back with all of this. I only covered 39 and 40 today. I'm gonna move on to 41 and 42 tomorrow. And this is just my feedback from it. It may be 45, 46, who knows? But I definitely am tuned in like the rest of the world, and I'm gonna be following this story and doing my workouts and whatnot in the morning, and making sure I get you guys some good content. Man, wow. All I can say is have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna go in here and pop my chicken in the oven, and I don't have cabbage, so I'm gonna do some Alfredo noodles with broccoli, and that's what we're gonna have for dinner tonight. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm telling you, like, my head is, ooh, because I just discovered this yesterday, so I've been up, like, just watching every, watching all of the videos, and I crammed them in from yesterday until this morning, and it's just a whole lot of. But again, if you don't have TikTok, they're making plenty of videos of it on YouTube. So find one and ride the wave, because I promise you, you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost in the scissors and be like, what?
No such thing as a life that's better than yours.